Have you ever caught yourself chomping on your own fingernails like they're an after-school snack? Or maybe you've mashed your hands together until your knuckles popped like bubble wrap. Yeah, same. Humans are, by all accounts, a bit strange when it comes to our bodies. We develop all sorts of odd physical habits: nail biting, knuckle cracking, hair twisting, skin picking. Basically, we're just walking bundles of nervous energy and muscle memory. Let's dig in and crack the mystery wide open, hopefully not like your joints. Nail biting, the gateway habit. Let's talk about one of the world's most socially acceptable forms of low-key self-destruction: nail biting. If you've ever caught yourself gnawing away during a stressful meeting or while watching a tense Netflix scene, you're in large company. It's incredibly common, and while it's not great for your nails or teeth, it's usually harmless in moderation. But here's where it gets trickier. When nail biting becomes frequent and intense, it's classified under pathological grooming. This includes other obsessive actions like picking at your skin or pulling out your hair, behaviors that might seem quirky at first, but actually fall into the realm of clinical concern. These aren't just odd habits, they're sometimes signs of something deeper, like anxiety or obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Pathological grooming behaviors often start as coping mechanisms but can spiral into uncontrollable compulsions. Over time, the brain starts to associate these actions with emotional relief, locking them into a repetitive cycle. It's like training your mind to hit a self-soothing button, except the button is your fingernail. What's more, constant nail biting can lead to physical problems like infections, damaged cuticles, or even dental issues. It can also become socially isolating, especially when someone feels embarrassed about their hands. Children and teens are more prone to this habit, though many adults continue the behavior long into their professional lives. Nail biting isn't about poor hygiene or laziness. It's often about stress management, control, or distraction. The worst part, many people don't even realize they're doing it until they see the aftermath. That's the thing about unconscious habits. They sneak up on you when you're not looking. The truth about knuckle cracking. Now let's pop over to another bizarrely satisfying habit: cracking your knuckles. It might make your grandma wince or your coworkers give you the side eye, but science says you're not dooming your future self to arthritis every time you indulge in this crunchy little ritual. The sound that makes some people cringe actually comes from a process known as tribonucleation. Sounds like a sci-fi villain, but it's really just gas bubbles forming in the synovial fluid inside your joints when they're rapidly stretched. Contrary to popular belief, the sound isn't from the bubble bursting, it's from it forming. And even cooler, that bubble can hang around in your joints for up to 20 minutes before you can crack them again. Despite decades of urban legends and finger pointing, literally, multiple studies have shown no consistent link between knuckle cracking and joint damage. You're more likely to annoy people than injure yourself. In fact, one doctor famously cracked the knuckles on only one hand for 60 years just to test the theory and found no difference in arthritis between the two hands. While it might not be the most charming habit, it's not harming your health. So if cracking your joints brings you joy, go ahead and pop away, you bendy bag of bones. Just maybe don't do it during a quiet movie scene. Habits are a brain shortcut. Now we get into the brainy bit. Habits, whether it's biting nails or tapping your foot like a caffeinated rabbit, tend to live in a part of the brain called the basal ganglia. This region helps coordinate movement, emotion, and routine behaviors. Think of it as the backstage manager of your daily rituals, quietly running the show while your conscious brain takes a nap. When a habit becomes ingrained, it's because the brain realizes it can offload the task. Why waste mental energy consciously thinking about biting your nails when it can delegate that task to the autopilot system? Trigger, action, reward, repeat. Let's say you get a hangnail. It hurts. So without even thinking, you bite it off. Pain gone. Your brain logs this as trigger, pain, action, bite, reward, relief. Congratulations, you've just completed a habit loop. That's how habits form. Simple, effective, and really annoying when you're trying to stop. This habit loop is how your brain reinforces repeated behaviors. Even something as seemingly trivial as finger cracking might give your body a fleeting sense of physical release. Maybe it's stress relief. Maybe you just like the pop. Either way, do it enough and it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. Repetition is the secret sauce. Here's where the habit cement sets. The more often you perform an action, the less you you think about it. Eventually, it becomes second nature, no conscious decision needed. In neuroscience terms, that's your basal ganglia running the show without checking in with your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions. When the prefrontal cortex stops receiving signals about the behavior, that means you're doing it without thinking. How long does it take to solidify a habit? Research says anywhere between 15 to 254 days. So yes, you really can train your brain, but it might take longer than finishing an entire Netflix series. When bad habits become a medical issue. Most habits are just mildly annoying to others and occasionally embarrassing in public, but some can actually veer into dangerous territory. If a habit leads to wounds, bleeding, infections, or damage to teeth or skin, it's no longer just a bad habit, it's a health concern. Take compulsive nail biting, for example. When it becomes intense and damaging, it's called onychophagia, and it's officially classified as a body-focused repetitive behavior. It's even listed under the obsessive-compulsive and related disorders section in the DSM-5, which is basically the official handbook of mental health conditions. These habits are often linked to anxiety and stress. The physical action gives a temporary sense of relief, but the long-term effects can be harmful. The genetics of weird habits. Ever wonder if you're just biologically destined to nibble on your fingertips like a stress-induced squirrel? Turns out you might be onto something. A study from the 1970s involving 338 twin pairs found that nearly a third of them shared the nail-biting habit, and it was more prevalent among identical twins. That's a strong hint there could be a genetic link. And while more research is needed, it does seem like nature plays a role in nurturing our weird grooming rituals. So next time someone judges your fidgeting or knuckle cracking, just blame your DNA. Sorry, Aunt Karen, it's hereditary. Breaking a habit. Yes, it's possible, but not easy. Okay, so we've identified the habit, the brain mechanics, the stress link, and even your DNA's shady involvement. Now the big question, how the heck do you stop? First, you need to bring that automatic behavior back into conscious awareness. That means dragging the habit from the basement up to the executive suite. One method, interrupt the loop. That's why moms all over the world slap band-aids, bitter nail polish, or even hot sauce onto bitten fingers. They're not just being dramatic, they're helping retrain your brain to think twice before repeating the action. Fidgeting, twitching, and other body oddities. Let's not forget the cousin of nail biting and knuckle popping. Fidgeting, you know, bouncing legs. Pen clicking or endless doodling. These behaviors are often subconscious ways of burning off nervous energy or staying alert. Some research suggests that fidgeting can help maintain focus, especially for people with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It may also regulate arousal levels in the brain basically. It helps keep you at the right level of alertness. You're not being annoying, you're optimizing your nervous system with minor side effects of annoying everyone around you. And while fidgeting doesn't usually carry the same social stigma as nail biting, it does fall into the same behavioral family. In short, we're all just quirky meat puppets trying to cope. If you've ever cracked a knuckle or bitten a nail mid-scroll, smash that like and subscribe for more science behind your strangest habits. Yes, even that one. Got a weird quirk? Drop it in the comments. We're all delightfully weird together.